What's going on, everyone? So, another game for Anthony Davis against another European center and another just no show for AD. I don't know what it is, but Anthony Davis just cannot show up against these European, bulkier type centers, right? Sabonis is now 9-0 career wise against Anthony Davis, which sounds fake. It sounds made up because you're thinking Anthony Davis, he's top three big man in the league, right? You got like Jokic, Embiid, and Anthony Davis, right? And look, Sabonis is an excellent talent. He is a very good center, but he's not Anthony Davis. And yet, here we are, 0-9, and just not in a good position. The Lakers once again lose, and Sacramento, just like Denver, seems to have their number. And what does Anthony Davis do? He goes 5 of 13 from the field, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 2 turnovers, a -6. What does Sabonis do, you ask? Well, let me tell you. 16 points, 20 rebounds, yes, 20 rebounds, 12 assists, 7 of 13 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, plus 11. Now, Anthony Davis did get into foul trouble early on and had 4 fouls like midway through the third, but it was more than that. Just the aggression, the physicality is a real problem for him. And I think personally, it's a combination of things. There seems to be a trend with Anthony Davis facing these European big men. And I mean, obviously it's like, well, Anthony Davis just struggles with them. But I mean, the trends as far as like the skill wise goes and the level of basketball from a basketball perspective, right? You look at guys like, Sabonis and, Jokic, even Zoo and guys like that, right? Like he has his troubles. Even Şengün has had some success against him. I mean, the list goes on, right? And a lot of it is these guys are, most European big men are good out of the post, can make plays, right? Which then which forces Anthony Davis in a precarious situation where he has to kind of always be on alert for, is there a cutter? Is this guy doing, where if you take somebody, say like a Miles Turner, right? You kind of know what he wants to do. He's just either going to spot up and knock down some threes, or he's going to try to like kind of pound you and like do a little over the top or shoot the mid range, right? He's going to kind of try to rely on his athleticism and just his shooting ability. Or you look at some of these other guys that are in the league that aren't European as far as centers go, right? A lot of them, they're relying on their athleticism. They're trying to just kind of go over the top, where these European big men are just much more skilled. Footwork is better, right? They're very physical, right? Which Anthony Davis, he doesn't like to bang, right? He doesn't like to be physical down low and bang with these big boys. And these guys have the weight behind them, but it's not just like they're just pounding him and just, going to town, pause. But it's more so of their skill set. They're constantly keeping you on your toes as a defender, right? Because they can make plays. So you have to be cautious of like, okay, if I'm too on top, then they're just going to pass it out. I got to be aware for the cutter, because especially in Anthony Davis's situation, right? Let's use Denver and Sacramento for an example, right? Constantly have movement off ball. You, as the Lakers, have a lack of athleticism out on the perimeter, a lack of defensive help. So Anthony Davis is in a position where he has to monitor not only the man that's in front of him, a Jokic, a Sabonis, a whomever, he also has to be mindful and aware of other guys getting beat and Anthony Davis having to be the recover man and help as the help defender, right? It puts a ton of pressure on AD. And so he's not just focused on the guy in front of him, he's focused on the guy in front of him as well as everything else that's going on. So that's a problem. Then you add in the physicality and these big men being able to get in AD's chest and, kind of knock him off balance a little bit and finish. That becomes a problem. And then you add in the skill set and the footwork that these guys have, right? A lot of these guys have real, just amazing footwork and a low post game to where, like you saw with Sabonis, you've seen with Jokic, he gets the ball, he's patient, little pump fake, okay, AD didn't bite, let me do another pump fake, okay, let me just spin, boom, there's the basket. And you see these big men kind of have these bags that they can go into that you're constantly guessing what are they going to do, right? Are they just going to pull up and shoot over the top? Are they going to do a little fadeaway? Are they going to pass the ball? Are they going to do a spin move? Are they going to do a little hook, a right hook, a left hook? Are they spinning over the left shoulder, the right shoulder? Like, there's just so many things and so many options that these big men have that puts Anthony Davis constantly on the prowl. It's why you saw against like Denver, the Lakers put Rui on Jokic and had Anthony Davis as that help defender. So Anthony Davis could kind of come and be the help defender on Jokic, but also kind of keep everything else in check. All the cutters, all, Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray driving to the basket, right? It allowed Anthony Davis to kind of navigate that better, right? And that is something that you kind of have to make the decision and live with. But also, there's the part, I'm sure, of Anthony Davis that he's like, I don't really want to be a center, right? He wants to be a power forward. He in many ways is a power forward, right? Now, he is capable of being a center. He is still a top 3 center in the league, but, he at times doesn't play like a center. As I mentioned, he doesn't like to bang. He doesn't like to get physical with these big body guys. You see a guy like Zoo, who, look, Anthony Davis has had some great games against the Clippers. Right? You look up his stats against Clippers, he's been excellent. But he also has had some games in which he's given up a lot to Zoo and the rebounding and things like that, because he's just a big body that can bump AD out of position. And, AD, he's not as accustomed to dealing with the big physicality. Because, again, you look at a lot of these centers in the league that aren't these European centers, although more and more are starting to become them. They don't have the real capabilities, right? Like, you look at like a Jared Allen. He's very limited. You kind of know what he's going to do, right? You look at a Mitchell Robinson, right? You look at, like I mentioned, a Miles Turner, even like an Andre Drummond, right? Like Clint Capella, right? You look at some of these guys in the league that are more just, they're not the skilled, versatile big men. They're kind of these like, okay, like they're pretty straightforward. You know what to expect. So Anthony Davis is able to kind of have that. They're also not as, physically imposing. They're not as, trying to bang with you and really cause some harm, right? So AD, he's able to kind of match up better. He's able to be more physical. He's able to do the things that he needs to do to dominate some of those matchups, right? But then he goes and he faces, like, again, he's had success against guys like Zoo. Zoo's not like incredibly skilled. He's kind of more of a bruiser. Valanciunas isn't like as skilled. Like, he's had some, don't get me wrong, Valanciunas has had some great games, but he's not as skilled as like a Jokic or Sabonis. So you see him really struggle against the top of the top guys because they are like next level. You'll see him at times struggle with the, like the B tier guys. And then you see him really fall apart against the A tier guys, which is, only a couple guys. There's only so many guys in the league. Sabonis is in many ways kind of like a poor man Jokic, right? And Jokic just does it on such a higher level. It's insane. Which is why he's the best big man in the league. So, Anthony Davis, either A, the Lakers need to get another big man in the offseason and let AD play the 4, which then kind of raises the question about LeBron, because LeBron, is he really going to be able to play the 3, 60 games, 65 games a season for 30 minutes a game or whatever? Probably not, right? Although, you could play him at the 4 in some spots, right? Like to relieve Anthony Davis at times and just kind of structure rotation that way. But, it's just, you either have to do that or you got to get some legit 3-and-D guys to kind of help Anthony Davis in order to allow him to be better positioned for those matchups, right? Where he doesn't have to worry about anything else. He only has to worry about the guy in front of him. Anthony Davis is just responsible for so many things. And look, I'm not saying that that's like this major excuse, right? A lot of it is just Anthony Davis and the problems with AD. But I do think a lot of it, at least on the defensive side, is him having to cover so much ground. Unlike most other big men, they usually only have to worry about the guy that they're defending and then occasionally be the help defender, because most teams have the athleticism and the skill guards out on the perimeter to kind of help bail out the big man. The big man's kind of like the last line of defense rather than, in many ways, the first line. So I just think that it's you add in this combination of stuff, and it's a problem for AD. And it's something that the Lakers and him are going to have to figure out, because it's really unfortunate. Like, we can't beat Sacramento and we can't beat Denver because we don't have the athleticism out on the perimeter, and Anthony Davis just keeps getting owned by Sabonis and Jokic. It's a real problem. It is, and it's very frustrating. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you agree with my points? Disagree with my points? Are there some things that you'd like to add? If so, add them down in the comments. Again, how do you feel? What your thoughts are? Let me know. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Now, subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.